Welcome to Speed City with John Massengill, Les Kaiser, and Jonathan Green. It's the fastest hour on the radio, Speed City.
Okay, Trans Am fans, time for another chat with one of our Trans Am competitors. And today we've got Doug Winston up in New York. And Doug has, I think, probably been the most dedicated driver we've got. He's been at every practice, every race, and seemingly seems to be enjoying the championship. Doug, how's it going?
Pretty good, really good, really good.
What, in terms of, I saw a picture of your setup. Tell me about that and how you've gone sim racing and how you've adapted to it.
So I've always dabbled a little bit in the sim stuff, just pretty much to learn tracks I've never been to. Mostly used iRacing, and this has been an opportunity to try some of the other platforms. Obviously, we started out with the R Factor, and now we're with the Assetto Corsa. Very good. I have a sim unit that's been kind of evolving over the years and kind of upgrading it. So I have a GTR chassis, which I've modified extensively over the years, welding and adding parts, because every time you do something, just like a race car, you affect something else. So I recently put in the Ricmotech pedals, which actually are built from a Tilton setup that's pretty much just like the pedals in my real race car. And when I went to go step on those, the whole rig would lift up off the ground. So down to the shop and start doing a little welding and cutting and add some reinforcements. So we're getting there. But using a Thrustmaster 500 wheel and VR.
What do you think of VR? Because I've talked to quite a lot of drivers, and some take to it, some don't.
I've been using it for a while. I like the VR. You do get immersed in it. I think you do get. I think it's a little bit better than even the 3 screens. You find yourself, you can turn your neck all the way and look for that apex. You're looking out the side window of the car, so I find that's helpful. The graphics aren't as good. You get a lot of glare, and not. It's a weird kind of glare. It's kind of like induced by the software. It seems like it's always twilight wherever we race, and you're always getting that sun in your eyes. So sometimes it makes it a little hard to find your turn in, but like anything else, you adapt and you kind of tune it out.
And how do you find sim racing? I think the jury's out. Some real life drivers find it useful to stay honed, but others say it's so different that you're almost, it's a different kind of racing and a different kind of training. How do you find the sort of versus real world versus sim, and does it help you for the real world?
Yeah, it's a tool like anything else. It's going to help you learn a track, learn the lay of the land. I can tell you that a lot of tracks I have no seat time on whatsoever, and I'm able to get out there and go, okay, feel somewhat confident at least to get out there and feel like at least you know where you're going and you're not, what turn's coming up next. So I think it's great for that. I know my teammate Adrian has got a little different opinion, and it's not like this and it's not like that. I said, Adrian, it's if you were driving a different car, it would be different too. So it's like anything else. It's adaptation. It's a tool for you to use. And, the competition aspect of it, it's a little looser, obviously, because, people think of taking those high percentage risks and there's really no penalty other than, you damage your car, you hit the reset button and you go back again. So, again, I see it as a tool. I think it's good. I like it. I'm going to continue to use it. And, probably going to tweak mine a little more, probably going to go to full motion in the upcoming weeks.
Fair enough. Well, what is your connection then with Adrian Welitowski? Are you your teammates, but how did that come about?
So Adrian and I club raced together years ago, probably starting about 5 years ago, and found ourselves competing first and second in a lot of races, had a lot of crazy races back in the day when he first started. And then probably about 3 years ago at Lime Rock, I had an engine blew, dropped oil all over the place, car burned. It was just horrible. And I said, that's it. I'm getting out of this. I'm going to buy a Spec Miata. And he said, you're not going to be happy with a Spec Miata. I'm like, no, I will. He said, you're not going to fit in a Spec Miata. And he was right. So he says, give me the car. I'm going to do a full rebuild. And from that time on, he did track support for us. And we just kind of started racing together. So when he got into Trans Am, I started looking at TA2 because I thought it was a great platform from a cost perspective and just the competitiveness and the level playing field. I really liked the idea. So, club racing, we were doing a weight to power type of thing. And I'm a big guy at 250 pounds in gear. It definitely just didn't have the same dynamic. Couldn't balance a car the same as you can in one of these things. Here, we move a little ballast around and, it's fantastic. So, I really like the Trans Am, the TA2 platform. It's only only done 2 races so far, but I'm pleased with it.
And are you planning to be at Mid-Ohio and on for the rest of 2020 if everything goes okay?
If all goes good, yeah. We're actually, if you recall, I had a little incident at Sebring, and to add twist to that drama, we brought the car down to Adrian's shop. The guys were going to get started on it, and everybody in his shop ended up with COVID. So he was closed for a little while. So right now they are in the process of transferring my drivetrain into a new chassis, and we're hoping to have that ready for Mid-Ohio. So if all goes well, we'll be there.
And how has this whole shutdown been for you? Because you really are at the epicenter. We've all been watching Cuomo's daily updates, but it's tragically depressing to see the numbers. How's it been to be almost in the middle of it?
Yeah, we've been real fortunate. I mean, by nature of the industry I'm in, I'm an electrical and utility contractor, and our primary focus is in the railroad and utility sectors. So basically, our job's to keep the lights on, the essential places, keep the trains running, keep the lights on. If there's storm, we do storm restoration all over the country. So we pretty much haven't missed a lot of beats. A few of our jobs had some temporary shutdowns due to the COVID impacts, but we're pretty much back up and running. I'd say we probably dropped down to maybe 40% for 2 weeks, and then we were back up to 60%, and now we're back up to 100. So we've been fortunate, very fortunate.
Well, I suppose, as it was intended, it's been a good distraction and a good chance for the Trans Am community to get together, because the Zoom meetings and a little bit of smack talk here and there. We've got some youngsters, whippersnappers, trying to have a go at the established regulars, and it's been a bit of a distraction and a bit of fun, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. It's been a lot of fun. It's been good, and I see there's camaraderie between the drivers, just as there is in real life. That's one of the things that drew me to Trans Am. I did my first race last year at Watkins Glen, and immediately we just kind of felt like, wow, this is a great bunch of people here, and we want to be part of this.
We've done the full gamut. There's no question. We started off at Laguna Seca, and then we've been all around the world, Barcelona and Riverside. What's been the highlight for you in terms of the racing?
Riverside was just a blast. It actually was a little depressing to think that we'll never race there. I mean, this is just like, wow, this is a bucket list track. No, that's it. It's committed to sim memory. That's it.
What about Bridgehampton? Are you looking forward to that? And what about Spa behind us?
Yeah. I'm sorry, which one?
Well, either one, Bridgehampton and Spa coming up.
Oh yeah, Spa's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. In the beginning, it was it's like it's not as much fun, but now I got a little more seat time there, and it's more fun. Definitely more fun. We're getting faster there, having fun.
I think because it's such a long track, I think we're going to see pockets of racing. But then when you get some clean air, you'll be trying to beat your lap record, because Spa is one of those tracks, I think, where everybody's got a chance to go a little bit deeper. And I think you do a session at Spa, and you're like, I'm still not sure about those 3 corners, at the back somewhere. So absolutely. I think it's going to be quite a lot of studying.
100%. You're dead on. That is exactly the case. So I find myself I get a little clean air. It's starting to watch the predictive, try different lines, see which way we can get through here a little faster. So it's definitely been a lot of fun.
So who have you been racing wheel to wheel with? You're in the midfield. You're getting some good results, getting some point scoring results. But who do you keep coming across?
Well, unfortunately, I think I keep coming across Boris, and that pays some ugly dividends. So I've had, I think, a little more incidental contact with Boris than anybody else. But I've had some good racing the other day. I think with Scott Pachetto, we were going back and forth. I think Cameron Parsons, I recall, a few times. Trying to think of who else I was out there with. Drew Neubauer last night. Him and I were out there practicing, so we had some good racing. So it was good. It was a good time with those guys.
Well, tell everybody about your real world setup and what the plan is for 2020. Because hopefully, he says, fingers crossed, we're going to Mid-Ohio. We're finally going to see each other in the real flesh.
Yes, yes. So TA2 cars going back together. We're going to have a new livery. It's pretty funny because the car that I had bought Tom Sheehan's old car, and it was yellow. And every race car I've ever had was yellow. And my wife looked at me and said, "Another yellow car?" And I said, "No, no, no, no. We're going to change the livery on it." And then Sebring, what happened there. And actually, that was a weird twist of fate. I kind of took the blame on that and said, it must have been me, brake bias. And it turns out we actually we found the rear trailing arm broke. That's what caused that car to break away like that.
So what are your sponsors? What's the car going to look like? What number can we be cheering on?
So right now I'm going to be my company, D&M Electrical Contracting, my other company, Northeast Utility Equipment Repair. Those will be the primary sponsors. Our graphics sponsor, Applied Graphics, will be in there. And obviously all our series sponsors will be on the car. So we're looking at something to kind of mold the fast auto black and red theme with our red, white, and blue D&M colors. So we're working right now with our graphic team, and we're going to come up with something that hopefully is eye-popping.
Doug, I think you're a good guy to ask this because you like the price point of Trans Am. Obviously, you're putting your own company's name on the car, so it's an investment. It's a personal investment. But what do you feel in terms of? I like to take the temperature as we talk about coming back to racing. Obviously, Indy starts tomorrow. NASCAR's been back for a couple of weeks. Trans Am will be back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. How do you think the next 6 months for the industry across the board, whether it be sponsorship, whether it be personal races, whether it be Miata series or whatever?
Yeah.
How hard or how long do you think it's going to be before we get back to a normal, robust motorsport?
Yeah, I think this year is going to be a modified normal. I think the sponsorship whole thing kind of, unless you're sponsoring from your own personal business there, it's probably going to be a little tougher. We were in discussion with 2 sponsors right before this whole thing, and now it's like, you have people that are out of work and companies that are shut down, so it's not an easy discussion to have. So I think it's the kind of thing you pray for a good fourth quarter, economy-wise, and we come back strong over the winter, and then we try to get some more money back into the sport. But I think right now a lot of it falls on our own shoulders to kind of spend our own money to keep everything going and keep the show, make the show go on.
Well, Doug, I'm sure you're like everybody else, wanting to get back to a racetrack. Where are you looking forward to getting out and about and actually racing in the real world?
I am looking forward to Mid-Ohio. I've only been there once before. That was last year, so I have some seat time there. I'm looking forward. It's a good track. I like it. Definitely always looking forward to Watkins Glen. Lime Rock, another obviously home track favorite here. That's one of our home tracks. And Coda is definitely high on my list. That's another favorite of mine.
Well, we welcome you to Austin. That's where I am right now. And Coda's sitting fallow at the moment, but waiting for a bit of muscle car action, I'm sure. Yeah, that'll be back in later in the year. So looking ahead to the last few rounds of the E-Championship, what are your hopes? Where do you think you've got a chance of scoring some points?
I think coming up, I think I can probably try to hang mid-pack here in Spa. That's kind of my goal. And I'm hoping that by the time we get to our finale there at Lime Rock, that's kind of a home track. So I think maybe, I could try to move up into a top 10 finish there. That's kind of my goal. Kind of mimic my Trans Am goals for the year, too.
Fair enough. What about all these youngsters? We've got a bunch of new ones this weekend as well, and some of them talk some smack. I can't believe it. So
yeah.
How you dealing with these whippersnappers?
You take them with a grain of salt. It's all good. Again, we're e-racing, so there's not a whole lot of collateral damage that can occur.
Are you impressed with how the Hurley-Casera battle has kind of evolved? It became a two-way battle right from the get-go.
Yeah, those guys have been going at it. I've actually been watching the replays, and it's fun to get to sit back and watch the race after it's all said and done on the replays. So, yeah, they've had some great racing. It's been fantastic.
And the game's done a good job. I mean, the replicas, the tracks, Riverside, and so on. It really does feel. I mean, some of the onboards feel like the real thing.
Yeah, it really does. It's unbelievable. There's plenty of times I think when you're in a sim, especially when you're in VR. And you do get so immersed, and it's like when you have that off and you think you're going to crash, and all of a sudden it's like you let your hands off the wheel because you're ready to feel that smack. So, yeah, it's been a great job just overall with graphics and just the whole immersiveness.
Yeah, I keep thinking about all the engineers and mechanics that are sitting back watching this with a beer going, no repairs, I'm not touching it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Exactly.
Well, listen, Doug, looking forward to getting back into the real world. I can't believe we're actually getting closer to it. And to watch NASCAR and IndyCar going back is quite a quite a feat, really, because I didn't really anticipate this as quickly as it was. But they seem to have done a good job. Have you watched any of the comebacks?
Yeah, I had a chance to take a little peek here and there, but I'm spending more time practicing on the sim.
Good man. So how many laps do you think you'll do before you hit the race?
Oh, I don't know. Tonight's Friday night. I probably won't. I won't get a chance tonight. But tomorrow, I'll jump back in after the drivers' meeting. I probably won't have any more practice before that last session. But I feel pretty good. I was. I think I looked last night. I think I was in the top 12 or so. So it's not too bad.
That's excellent. And it's car number 39, right?
Yeah, I don't know who selected that horrific pink livery, but I guess it's my own fault for not sending in a new one. So.
Well, at least your wife's happy it's not yellow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not kidding.
There you go. Well, listen, as you can see, you're right behind me, and you're heading up that Eau Rouge. How intimidating is that?
I don't know. I don't find any of it intimidating. I mean, it's definitely a challenging course, but I wouldn't call any of it intimidating. I think we'd have to be out there on pavement to really feel intimidated.
Fair enough. Well, listen, Doug, great to talk to you. Keep practicing. I will be watching you tomorrow and cheering you on. And thanks for talking to us, and looking forward to seeing you at Mid-Ohio with your new livery.
Looking forward to seeing you too, John. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Doug. Appreciate you coming on.
Be well.